obviously when I started, I was the only content person here. So started off as a strategist where I was doing a load of copywriting, and then as we kind of grew more and got more clients, we needed to obviously do more strategy. So we brought Hannah on board, again, who started off as a content writer, but she learned a lot about like keyword research, doing audits, doing strategies, who's now progressed to senior. And then Alex and Katie are content writers as well. So in terms of who does what in terms of the work, I will do a lot of the strategy and audits, and I'll do a lot of the pitches too. Hannah's kind of a combination, so she still picks up a lot of the copywriting, but she's kind of like my right hand like woman whenever it comes to doing anything else. So she does a lot of strategy too for me. She helps me out with pitches. She's obviously learned a lot like since she's been here. Alex as well is super good at like all the SEO stuff, but also is really talented when it comes to PR. So he does a lot of PR writing too. And again, Katie is very much the same, like does really good SEO and PR copy. So I still keep a little bit of the copy, but the vast majority is kind of passed out to the team. So me and Hannah do more of the strategy side of things.
Everything you write, it's got to be data driven, so it's got to be written for a reason. You can't just write it because you want to. It's got to be written because people are asking for it. Yeah, so I was working for a property client and did some keyword research and found out that moving to UAE, Dubai, Abu Dhabi is got quite high search volume, so there's obviously people interested, looking to do it. So we wrote a blog on everything you need to know about emigrating to the UAE. And this targeted all the questions that people were asking, all the keywords they were searching for, and it was structured accordingly to be as helpful for the user as possible, in answering all their concerns, and we used the keywords throughout so that Google would also appreciate that we were being helpful for the user.
Is really varied, which is one of the nicest things about content. Some mornings you come in, it's just straight to getting stuck in with writing some blogs or writing guides for a content hub. Some days you can kind of ease in with some keyword research, which it's nerdy, but I love. Content gets overlooked sometimes as being like not the sexiest of the potential channels. A lot of what we do ties in really nicely with sort of the tech SEO stuff and digital PR stuff, but I feel like content is really, to use all the cliches, it's the bread and butter, it's the backbone of a strategy. I think if you don't, you can send all the links in the world to a site, but if you don't have the content there that's actually going to be useful to a user, there's not much point. People are going to bounce off unless you have decent, genuinely useful content there.
So I like the fact that you can relate to like a user and all the things that you maybe, like I look at a website sometimes and there's so much missing from it and I'm like, oh, I would have put like a H1 up here, I would have put a H2 down here, I would have done this, and I like the fact that you can show people about a product in a more digestible way than just, you know, like a product description that doesn't give any information about anything.
I feel like content is kind of like the central point of everything. I think from SEO it's kind of very obvious because obviously you've got like technical fixes for SEO, but once that's done, the only way you're going to start driving people to your site organically is by creating content that's going to rank. But similarly from like a PR perspective, you need to have engaging content that people are then going to want to link to. And I guess also to a lesser degree like PPC as well, because if you're writing like ad copy, the copy has to be good, but also depending on what you want from your PPC ads, it might be that you want to send someone through to a white paper or a specific blog. So I think it's like obviously like an integral part of marketing, but I feel like everything kind of comes back to content in one way or another.